I am ready to begin my weaving. I've already measured this piece of yarn and it is 5 times back and forth for every line of weaving, for every section of weaving. So I know for this line of purple, I'm going back and forth 4 times. I'm going to start with my needle and my yarn. The hole is big, so the yarn should go through there pretty easily. If your yarn is fat, you may have to push it. Do you see how I'm pushing it with my finger and I can grab the little piece sticking through? I don't usually tie my yarn at the end. What I do is I hold it here when I pull it through, and then the needle does not come unthreaded. I do want to start, and I'm going to weave at the bottom of my weaving and go up with my weaving. So in other words, I'll do the purple and then the green going up this way. I'm going to start under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. To me, it's easier just to pull up the strings like that. You can see I'm under all the orange and over all of the purple. That's one of the reasons we do the 2 different colors of warp strings. And I am pulling this through. Notice I am holding it down here on the thread. If I hold it by the needle, it's going to unthread my needle. See how it pulled up? But if I hold it down here on the thread and pull it across, now I want to leave a little bit of this sticking out. That's my pigtail. In the end, we're going to weave that back in so that we get a nice finished edge to our blanket. So I'm going to turn my loom, and now this time when I go back, if I was over the purple last time, this time I'm doing the opposite. I'm going to go under the purple and over the orange. So whatever you did on the last line, you're going to do exactly the opposite. So this time I'm over the orange and under the purple. I am going to pull it until I get a nice touch on the string. I don't want to leave a big loop out here like this. I don't want a big loop. I want to barely touch, but I don't want to pull too tight. Do you see what just happened to my warp string? That's called hourglassing, and it makes for a really ugly blanket. So if that happens, I'm going to pull it back out. Do you see it's back straight again? That's super important. Be on the lookout for it and help your neighbor look out for theirs too. So each time I'm going back the opposite. So here I'm under the orange each time across this time and pull again. When I get out here, I'm going to grab by the strings and pull just until I touch that thread. And I'm going to do it again 1 more time, 2 more times, I think, to have my 5 lines. Don't just do it until your yarn runs out, just in case you've measured a little bit longer than you needed to. Notice I can scoot my lines down and pull them close together to get my nice tight blanket. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of weaving. This is my last time across. I'm going under the orange this time and pulling out, and I'm all the way to the end. That's the end of that piece. Now, so that I have a nice neat end before I take this off, my thread is too short to use the needle, but I can finger weave in and out with my, do you see how I'm doing the same thing? This time I'm going over the orange and under the purple. I'll hold it out here so you can see it. And I'm going to push it down. And then with my scissors, remember, don't ever point scissors down. Always keep them parallel, that means flat, with the warp strings. And now my pigtail disappeared, and look how nice and neat that is. we are going to go ahead now and weave this other warp string in. I'm going to pull the weaving up and I'm going back and forth under here. This one might be a little tricky. If you have any problems, just let one of the adults know, okay? And I'm pulling that in. And now you don't really see my, my beginning or my end of that string. And I am ready now to measure my green and do the same thing on the green. I can actually start weaving a little ways over into here to get my pigtail woven in, and then I don't have to do it by hand later. And then I can weave back and forth to do my 5 lines of green.